So we are back with another trade recap, and today we are dealing with the Nasdaq. So I took buys today on the Nasdaq. So let's get straight into it. So we can see on the 4-hour, we zoom out, clear downtrend. You can see price has just been dropping for the past several days and weeks. You can see one way downtrend, but zooming in and just looking at today's price action, you can clearly see that we are stuck in a bit of a range as well. Let's see over here, we're stuck in a bit of a range, so it's a little bit tricky to trade when price is just consolidating this much and not giving a clear direction for the short term. But with that being said, I'll give you my reasons why I was looking for buys today instead of looking for shorts, even though the overall market, like I said, is in a downtrend. But this was just a short-term trade. It wasn't a long-term trade, it was just a short-term trade. Hence my decision to look for buys. So first of all, you can see we have the support zone over here. Price retested it over there, then again over there, and then once again over there. So it retested that zone, that support zone, thrice. Okay, then what happened? You can see we were moving once again back. After that retest, price moved once again back to that 1 hour resistance zone, right? So it is moving towards that resistance zone, and then eventually it actually broke right through it. You can see over here, you can see over there, price broke through that resistance zone, which now becomes support once again on the 1 hour. But that wasn't convincing enough, because price could have just done this, could have just broke and then bam, went back down. So even though price broke through it, I wanted to wait a little to just be more confident that price was going to push higher. And because like I said, it could have just have been a fake out, right? So you can see it broke the zone with that candle. Then with a wick, we can see price tried to push all the way in there into the support zone. It pushed into the support zone, but it failed to push any lower. And we can see with how that candle closed that yes, it closed bullish, but more importantly, it showed that price failed to push any lower, which now tells me, okay, the bulls are in control and price wants to push higher. So on the next candle, which is this candle over here, you can see once again price with this wick over here, you see price push back into that zone, that support zone, to retest it once again. And once again we can see the bulls just pushed price back out of that support zone, once again telling me that the bulls are now in control for the short term at least, and that price actually wants to push higher. So now going into it, I just want to show you guys markout. I just want to show you guys something. Markout London session open, as well as Asian session open. And the reason why I'm doing this is because of my thought process. I was waiting initially, as we can see we have London session lows over here. Mark that out. Then we have Asian session lows over here. So I was kind of hoping that price would, let me show you. I was kind of hoping the price would come down during New York session. And by the way, this vertical line over here, as you can see, represents New York session open. So I was kind of hoping the price would first come down and either sweep out London session lows liquidity, or both London session and Asian session liquidity lows, and then continue to proceed to push further up. But as we can see, price didn't sweep out any of that liquidity. Instead, we just swept out this hourly liquidity over here. You can see over there. Just remove this. You can see it just swept out that hourly liquidity. So I'm not gonna lie, I was a little skeptical at first, because usually, especially when the London session and Asian session lows are not that far apart from New York open, price more often than not will come down to sweep out that liquidity first before proceeding to push higher and sweep out, whatever high time liquidity is to the upside. So like I said, we didn't get the sweep of London session and Asian session lows. Instead, we just got this little 1 hour liquidity sweep over there, right? So anyhow, when New York session opened, like I said, once again we swept out that little 1 hour liquidity, and we swept out that 1 hour. We swept out that 1 hour liquidity. But I didn't just want to enter off of that liquidity sweep, because like I said, price could have easily have come down and swept out Asian London session lows, or both Asian session and London session lows, right? So we can see that once price comes down and sweeps out the liquidity, we can then see what happens. Boom, we have this big bullish engulfing candle to the upside. Big bullish engulfing candle to the upside. So what does that tell me? Once again, simple, price wants to push higher, right? Good. Right? Because we know normally with engulfing candles, whether it's bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing, it usually shows you where the momentum lies, whether it's with the bulls or the bears. So in this case, you can see, bam, right after that liquidity sweep, we have that big bullish engulfing candle, right? And once we had that bullish engulfing candle, I was like, right, okay, we broke above the support zone, which now becomes resistance. We broke above the resistance zone, which now becomes support. We tried pushing in there twice. Remember, I said on the hourly, with those two hourly candles, we tried pushing in there twice, and essentially retesting it, but we failed. Just remove one of this. We tried pushing in there twice with these candles, as I said earlier, retested them. The bulls showed strength, pushed price back above that now support zone, and showed momentum was to the upside. So with that was confluence number one, the break above the zone and the retest with those two candle wicks, and the fact that bulls showed that they are continuing to push price higher. That was confluence number one. Then the second one was that liquidity sweep that I mentioned. What is this? Oh, this liquidity sweep that I mentioned. once New York session opened. Then we swept out that hourly low. You can see there. Oh wait, let me just remove this. That's better, because now you can see the wick. So we swept out the hourly liquidity on the 1 hour. That 1 hour liquidity of New York session open, right? And then so that was the second confluence. Then the third confluence was, as I mentioned, this bullish engulfing candle over here. You can see that was confluence number 3, which, as I said, showed me price wants to push higher and that the momentum lies to the upside. So that was the 3 confluences that I used to enter the trade. But another confluence that I could have also used, and that I did actually use, was this 1 hour trend line over here. You can see, zoom out a little further. You can see we had our first touch, second touch. You can count this as a touch, this, and this over here. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches on that trend line, right? 5 touches on the trend line, which shows me that that was a valid trend line, right? Was definitely a valid trend line. Price struggled over and over and over to break it, and then eventually we did get the break above it. You can see over here with this candle over here, bam, finally broke the trend line with that candle over there. And with this wick of that candle, it retested that trend line as well. So like I said, that was just another confluence that I used, because normally what price will do is, or what price could have done, is rejected from that trend line once again, and then price could have pushed lower back to the downside. But as we can see in this case, price didn't. Instead, it broke the trend line and retested it. And the reason why it was a valid break for me is because, remember, price tried over and over and over to break it and failed, but eventually we broke. Clean, not extremely clean above it, but we broke above it. So that was just a fourth confluence for extra confirmation that I used. So the first confluence again was the break and retest of that 1 hour resistance zone, which became support. Then we had the liquidity sweep right after New York session open. We had that bullish engulfing candle to the upside and the break of that 1 hour trend line. And then we just get into the actual entry itself. So price, after that engulfing candle, I immediately got in after that engulfing candle right over here. You can see we had the engulfing candle. Let me just move this a little backwards over here. And immediately after the engulfing candle, I entered. I put my stop loss just below this 15 minute lows over here, just in case price wanted to come down once again and sweep out 15 minute liquidity. And the entry itself wasn't the best entry, but as you can see, it worked out, and price eventually continued to push higher. So I took, as you can see, the full TP is not yet hit. I took partials. I moved my stop loss to break even. I took partials. I took partials at least. Some of it is still running. So when market reopens again, hopefully price pushes in that direction. But if not, this is literally a risk-free trade. As I said, I took partials and all that. And as we can see, let me just change this. where this black line. I have this little 15-minute trend line over here. Minute trend line over there. So if price were to break it, price would probably push back down to that support zone, and but that doesn't really matter because, like I said, this is a risk-free trade right now. Some of the trade is still running, and hopefully we can hit a full TP. So it's Monday, and just a little update. So market open Monday, and we can see over here that when market open, we price push back down towards our entry point, but this 15-minute trend line did hold over here, and we can see price rejected from it over here, over there, and then once again over there. So like I said also earlier, I did before market closed on Friday, I did move my stop loss to break even, and I took partials. So it was essentially a risk-free trade, and only some of the trade was still running. So as I said, once market opened on Monday, price pushed down, and it didn't actually hit our stop loss. Which was a break even, and then price just continued to push towards our TP and actually hit the full TP. As you can see over here, the full TP did get hit. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward trade, and yeah, it's not much left to say except it was a good trade, and all TPs, or the main TP, did actually get hit. So yeah, this was just a trade recap of how I won my trade.